Live from WTVO 17 and your home team, Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Targeting bars and restaurants, Rockford's mayor explains why he doesn't think the state's COVID mitigations are fair. Saving the Ice House, group members talk about why they're rallying around the downtown Rockford staple that the Park District says it'll cost too much to keep the rink running. Celebrating 100 years, a local World War II veteran spends the day surrounded by friends and family. Good evening, I'm Eric Wilson. Mimi Murphy is off tonight. Region 1's COVID positivity rate is still high. Today marks the 12th day over 8%. After 2 weeks, the governor could impose more restrictions on the area. For the second day in a row, it's at 8.8%. Whiteside County has the highest 7-day rolling average in Region 1 at 11%. Winnebago County follows that at 9.9. Boone is at 9.3. And Stevenson County has the biggest jump since we've been in mitigation, going from a 5.3% 12 days ago to 8.1 today. Last night we told you how Rockford's mayor and several local lawmakers sent letters to the governor asking to reinstate indoor dining. Right now our region is in Tier 2 when it comes to restaurants and bars. They cannot have any indoor service. Mayor Tom McNamara is asking the governor to move us to Tier 1, which would allow indoor dining at 25% capacity. Today he said just targeting bars and restaurants isn't right.
We know from the statistics in our county that it's not just bars and restaurants that are increasing our positivity rate. We've seen a number of things increase. We've seen larger gatherings, we've seen schools, we've seen legal offices, we've seen city buildings, we've seen public meetings. All of these things are increasing that rate, and I think each one should have mitigation impacts to some degree.
No word yet on a response from the governor. Because of the increase in COVID cases and more patients being admitted, local hospitals are once again putting restrictions on visitors. Starting Monday, both Mercy Health and OSF will allow 1 visitor per patient except for in the NICU. No visitors are allowed at Swedish American except for end-of-life patients, the NICU, and labor and delivery. We told you earlier this week how local hospitals were concerned about a patient increase. OSF's chief medical officer said the number of COVID patients doubled in the past week, and a unit that had been closed opened back up to handle more. We have all of the new rules and procedures for the 3 major Rockford hospitals on our website. Just head to mystateline.com. Last year, when the Rockford Park District announced several local programs were on the chopping block due to budget cuts, the community rallied to save one of them, Sinisippi Golf Course, and it worked. Last month, the Park District said the group, quote, crushed it. Administrators tell us there is enough demand to keep Sinisippi open. Now, with another Park District staple's future up in the air, the community is rallying once more to save the decades-old Riverview Ice House in downtown Rockford. Organizers tell Dylan Saraki they're worried what losing it could mean for the community.
This week, dozens of community members sent a letter to the Rockford Park District Board of Commissioners asking them to reconsider a recommendation that would see the Riverview Ice House close.
I've seen firsthand the benefits that having an asset like this brings to downtown Rockford, and I just don't see how you replace that.
Jay Graham tells me he spent countless hours both playing and coaching hockey at the Riverview Ice House since it opened in 1976. Now, he's one of the people working to keep the facility in the Forest City.
I don't think that the move should be made at all. I think ice needs to stay downtown where it's accessible to all people in Rockford, not just people on the Far East Side, but minority communities that are near here as well.
Kevin Versino, general manager of Rocktown Adventures, also signed the letter. He says the Riverview Ice House provides a big boost to downtown businesses.
As we all know, activity begets more activity. Not that the ice rink is going to solve all the ills of Rockford, but it's a catalyst for consistent, repeatable downtown traffic that other businesses can then build off of.
Another recommendation in the Park District's 2020 action plan could see a reduction in the number of tournaments hosted at the UW Sports Factory. Supply Corps President and CEO Peter Provenzano, another supporter of keeping the Ice House in Rockford, is concerned about what the potential changes could mean for sports tourism in the city.
There's a growth opportunity to grow that also as a sports tourism destination and economic generator for our community.
I reached out to the Rockford Park District for an on-camera interview, but I was directed to their 2020 action plan and told they'd present more details at their board meeting on Tuesday. Reporting in Rockford for your home team, I'm Dylan Saraki.
A local World War II veteran spends a special day with friends and family. Corey Nevdahl lives at Siena on Brendanwood. He was born in Norway, October 9th, 1920. He lived under the Nazi occupation but was able to escape to England and enlisted in the Norwegian Air Force. After the war, he immigrated to Rockford with his wife. Corey tells us today's celebration is an example of why he came to this country.
It's an unbelievable joy to see so many people come out. And most of them are good friends. That's the thing about this country. It's such a friendly country. There's a lot of hate going on now. You know where it came from. And now, this is the real Americans that come out here and show me this. And I love America.
Corey became a U.S. citizen in 1954. Happy birthday. A Rockford artist wins Best of Show at the Rockford Art Museum's Midwestern Biennial. Judith Meyer took the prize for Sandro Senses His Greatness, seen here. Two artists from St. Paul, Minnesota and Chicago took jurors' choices. They were picked from the 76 featured artworks, and those were selected from more than 700 submissions from all around the Midwest. The biennial will be on display through the end of January. Admission to the Art Museum is free for everyone for the rest of the year. Hurricane Delta is slamming into the coast of Louisiana. This is the 10th named storm to hit the U.S. this year, a record. Delta is a Category 3 storm. It's coming ashore very close to an area of Louisiana recovering from Hurricane Laura in August. Many homes there still have tarps on their roofs. Homeowners spent the past few days boarding up windows and doing what they can do to get ready. Meteorologist Kevin Dooms keeping an eye on Delta. He'll have more on the storm's path coming up a little bit later in the show. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi announces new legislation aimed at the presidency. She and other Democrats want to begin planning in case a U.S. president is unable to carry out duties of the office. They say it has nothing to do with President Trump. Critics call this just an election year stunt. Alexandra Lamone has a reaction as she keeps you connected to the nation's capital.
Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi announced legislation for the creation of a new bipartisan commission to determine whether a president is capable of carrying out the powers and duties of the office.
This is not about President Trump. He will face the judgment of the voters. But he shows the need for us to create a process for future presidents.
Speaker Pelosi says the creation of the commission is based on the 25th Amendment, which was passed in a bipartisan way after President Kennedy was assassinated, and it ensures the continuity of national leadership.
Specifically, Section 4 of the amendment empowers Congress to set up an independent body to confront such a crisis.
The White House dismissed the idea.
That is absolutely unfounded, and it's a stunt ahead of an election. The president is feeling well.
President Trump also reacted to the speaker's announcement with a tweet, calling the speaker crazy and saying Pelosi's efforts are really about looking at the 25th Amendment in order to replace Joe Biden with Kamala Harris. In Washington, Alexandra Limon.
Now your first warm weather forecast with meteorologist Kevin Doom.
We'll start with a live look over downtown Rockford using a Mercy L SkyTrack, where skies have really cleared up just over the past couple of hours, and now we're seeing mostly clear skies to accompany this evening's sunset. Temperatures made it back into the 80s today here in Rockford. First time we saw 80s so far this month. Right now we're at 82 in Rockford, 80 in Rochelle, 78 out in Freeport, and 78 for a current temperature up in Monroe. Now we're not seeing any 80s anymore in the near future, and if today does prove to be the last 80-degree day of the season, that'll be 3 of the past 4 years where the last 80-degree day fell on October 9th. A little peculiar there, excuse me. And this is over 10 degrees warmer than where we were just 24 hours ago across much of the area, exactly 10 degrees warmer than where we were 24 hours ago here in Rockford. Now, this big warm-up is thanks in big part to some very strong winds coming out of the south and southwest today. Here are some current wind gusts, 25 miles an hour in Rockford, 26 in Monroe, 31-mile-an-hour gusts out in Galena. That's been pulling a lot of very warm air into the state line. That's why we've been gradually warming up here over the past few days. That's why we're able to get back into the 80s today. But these warm temperatures and strong winds, in conjunction with some very dry conditions, are creating an elevated fire risk for both today and tomorrow. So avoid burning anything outside, any yard waste or anything like that this weekend. Dry conditions are what we've been seeing all day today. No rain anywhere near the state line. You can see some cloud cover moving out of the area just over the past couple of hours. Now, dry and clear conditions are going to last with us through pretty much the rest of the evening here, although a little bit more cloud cover is going to be moving in overnight tonight, and that's going to leave us with some partly cloudy skies by tomorrow morning, and that's how we'll spend pretty much the entirety of our Saturday. Really no rain in the forecast, despite seeing a little bit of green popping up on our futurecast. Not really expecting any rain here in the state line tomorrow. Just a good mix of clouds and sunshine. A little bit more cloud cover will be in the area by Sunday morning, and this will actually lead to a slight chance for a few very light, very isolated showers for Sunday. A little bit better chance coming Sunday overnight and into Monday. Now here's an update on Hurricane Delta, Category 2 storm that is literally minutes away from making landfall. Maximum sustained wind speeds at around 100 miles an hour right now, just off the southwest Louisiana coast. Here's a loop over the past 6 hours of the radar that you can see the storm approaching the coast very quickly here, bringing torrential rainfall to much of Louisiana, parts of the southeast Texas coast. Here are some rainfall totals, some various cities in that area just over the past 24 hours. Over 4 inches has fallen in Baton Rouge and Beaumont, Texas, nearly 4 inches, nearly 2 inches in Lake Charles. And if you remember, Lake Charles was the town that was unfortunately devastated by Hurricane Laura when that made landfall at the end of August. So not even a little over a month ago, and this area is already seeing another strong hurricane coming on through. Now back here in the state line, temperatures will fall into the lower 60s tonight. We'll see a gradual increase in cloud cover leading to some partly cloudy skies for the day tomorrow. We are going to spend another day in the warmer side of normal for this time of year. However, I don't think we'll make it into the 80s again. We'll be stuck in the 70s for tomorrow. Temperatures in the mid 70s or so. Another breezy day as well. However, 70s are only going to stick with us likely through the weekend before 60s return for most of this upcoming work week. Dry conditions, at least mostly dry conditions, also going to persist with us through the next week or so, with the exception of a pretty good rain chance to kick off the next work week on Monday.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Lepper.
Bears fans are loving the comeback win against the Buccaneers last night, a win that puts the Bears right on the heels of the Packers in the NFC North at 4-1. Anytime you can beat a Tom Brady team, it's a significant accomplishment. The defense played well, and Nick Foles got the job done when he needed to. But overall, Matt Nagy isn't happy at all with the performance of his offense.
I thought offensively, you know, they're just looking at it and you start wondering about the sloppiness and where things are at and how to get to where we need to go. I just look back after watching the tape and the details right now in this offense are not there. So that's our job as coaches, to make sure that we get these freaking details right.
And the Bears have some time to work things out. They don't play again until a week from Sunday at Carolina. You didn't really think the Blackhawks would go into next season banking solely on Colin Delia and Kevin Lankinen as their goaltenders, did you? Not a chance. So today, they re-signed Malcolm Subban to a 2-year contract. Subban is about the same age as those other two goaltenders, 26, but he has much more NHL experience. He's played in 66 NHL games with the Bruins, Golden Knights, and Blackhawks. He appeared in only one game with the Blackhawks this past season after the trade that brought him over from Vegas. Subban will be the front runner for the top goaltender job going into training camp. The Blackhawks have also re-signed forward Dominik Kubalik to a 2-year contract extension. Kubalik led all NHL rookies with his 30 goals last season. That also was the second highest total on the Blackhawks. And the NBA season could wrap up tonight. The Lakers can clinch the championship with another win over the Miami Heat. The Lakers have their good luck Black Mamba uniforms ready to go to pay tribute to Kobe Bryant.
It means something. It's something more than just a uniform. It represents an individual who gave a franchise 20 years of its blood, sweat, and tears.
You can see that game on WTVO at 8 o'clock. That's sports. We'll be right back.
It was a pretty windy day around here, but nothing like what folks are dealing with right now along the Gulf Coast, where another hurricane is hitting. Kevin Doome's been keeping an eye on that record season down there. Kevin?
Eric, Hurricane Delta is literally minutes away from making landfall on the southwest coast of Louisiana. There's a look at our First One interactive radar sponsored by Rockford Auto Glass and More. You can see torrential rainfall already falling across much of the state and also parts of Texas, Mississippi as well. Several feet of storm surge also expected over the next several hours. Now back here on the state line, things are a lot quieter. Not going to be quite as warm as we were today, tomorrow, but we will still make it into the mid-70s, still on the warmer side of normal. Just some partly cloudy skies with no rain in the forecast for your Saturday. Saturday. It's going to be a similar story for Sunday, just a slight chance for a little bit of rain this time around, but we do see temperatures reaching the 70s once again before dropping back into the 60s by Monday. 60s then hanging on pretty much through the end of the week when we could potentially dip back down into the 50s.
Another solid fall weekend. Thanks, Kevin. And thank you for spending some time with us. Stay safe.